I find, and I'm sure you do as well, that one phone call is not enough. There's got to be a follow-up sequence. I mean, just because you called me and I called you back, that's just the beginning of the relationship for trying to buy this house and building. What do you do for your follow-ups, and how many times are you touching the average, seller to try to put a deal together?
The fortune is definitely in the follow-up. I mean, if you could go in and just buy somebody's rehab house on the first time you go in there, more power to you. But making a relationship with these people, prioritizing it, you got to weed out the people that are just there to want to talk to you and really aren't about taking action, or to a point where they want to move on a property. So you got to put it somewhere that you can keep track of it, that it doesn't get lost in your stack of papers on your desk, or because a lot of times, like, we've gotten to a point where we had an on-market property. I believe it was on market, and we went out to see it. First time we saw it, the guy was going to meet us down there. He was from 4 hours away. He said, yeah, just go ahead and take a look inside. This is a hoarder house, hole in the roof. Like, we're looking at this thing like, oh my, and it's in a great neighborhood. And she's out in the car with the kids, and I peek my head in the door and I see this guy laying under a blanket. He had already been evicted. He went back into the house and squatted. So we call the owners and we're like, hey, I think the guy's still in there. They're like, no way. And so we're like, well, I'm just going to leave because I don't know what he's doing in there. He's obviously not supposed to be there. So Jenna follows back up. We end up getting an appointment with the guys. They come out. We're looking at it. We make an offer. And they kind of laughed at us, said, oh, your offer's way too low. We'll put it on the market. We'll get way more than that.
Yeah, so my offer was like $44,000 on it. He's like, no. They put it on the market for like what? Wasn't it like?
It was like close to 90, I think.
Yeah, 98 or 90 couple thousand. And so go ahead and tell.
Yeah. So he laughs us off and says, no way, we'll be able to get more. So Jenna put it in the CRM. We follow up. She follows up later to see what happened on the market, and she saw that it sold. And then she checks the price, and it sold for less than what we offered.
It was in the 30s. And so I contacted him, and I said, my offer was in the 40 couple range. He's like, well, I thought you wanted us to leave all the stuff in the house. I said, why would I want all that garbage? So kind of on the reverse end of it, his problem is that he probably didn't have a follow-up system or any way to document what people's offers were, or any way to capture my information. So when they got to that desperate point of like, let's just take any offer, he couldn't remember who I was, probably my number, my phone number, or the number we offered. Had he had a way to capture that, he would have been able to get probably $10,000 more. And that was 6 months before that.
Yeah. This is a great takeaway point right here, because literally the exact thing happened to me yesterday. I had a house offered to me that I was negotiating with the person before, and I had offered them $45,000. They were stuck at $52,000, and I had another guy bring it back and offer to me at $58,000, and I laughed. I said, well, how much did you pay for these? Well, I got it for $40,000. I'm like, she turned down my $45,000. I'm like, but you're right. You have to almost do their job for them. So how can you create a follow-up system for them to follow up with you? I think that's where you need to be touching them more frequently, saying, hey, remember my offer? Here's my number. Remember this offer? Mail them, email them, text them, call them. And I think that we can all learn from that, because you should have had that deal, and I should have had that deal, and because of a hole in our own system. And you use Realeflow as I do as well, and it does that for us if we would just work the system.